Well, AMC stock is down 7.40% in after hours. This is because you guessed it. It looks like the conversion is going to happen. Now, a couple things that I want to point out here, and we're going to make this pretty clear right off the bat, is this is all part of the plan, right? This is what I have been expecting now for the last week or two. So what does this mean for AMC stock? I think that's a better question to ask and ultimately answer, and I'm sure that's what you guys want to know as well. So we're going to get into this whole situation, give you an update on where everything is at. Let's get into it. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. So AMC stock is down 7.40% here in after hours. The stock closed out after hours at $4.19.5. This is because the special master report that we've been waiting on finally came in. And they support the conversion plan and the settlement, which is what we expected to see happen. So, not a huge shocker here. Now, as you guys know, the next court date is going to be June 29th and or June 30th. Those are going to be important days for AMC. But I think the biggest thing to kind of point out after this news that we're getting here in after hours is the fact that AMC did not collapse, right? You're down 7.5% in extended trading. Initially, when this news came out, AMC did sell down about 3.5%, subsequently about 5% here, and you did rally back to the same level. And I think this is important to point out. Typically, when bad news stays bad news for AMC, AMC does not bounce like this. This usually does not happen. It more so looks like the later part, right? Where it just continues to sell down. And that's not exactly what happened here in after hours. And that gives me a sign, right? That's telling you something. That's telling you that, one, there's obviously lower liquidity in extended hours, that you're going to see a lot of volatility, but this doesn't necessarily have to be a huge negative catalyst the way that we have seen this reflected in AMC's share price in the past. AMC has easily fallen 20+% multiple times anytime we have gotten an update from this court situation. It's happened quite often, right? Literally every time we get bad news, stock drops like 20 to 23%. That did not happen today in after hours. And there was room that could have happened, right? That definitely was a possibility. But it did not happen. Now, I think it's pretty clear, and I think most of us know this by now, this conversion is going to happen. Now, it really takes someone that can see both sides of this to fully understand how this is going to affect AMC, or at least the most logical way this is going to affect AMC. If you're a perma bull, and you got your heart set on one direction, you're not going to care about what I have to say next. If you're a bear, well, obviously, you're not going to like what I'm going to say next. And that's because this is the opposite of buy the rumor, sell the news. This is sell the rumor, buy the news. That's simply put. You can look at this in a couple ways. Whatever fits your narrative, whatever makes more sense to you, you can leave it there, right? Whatever makes sense to you, ultimately, whether you think it's bullish or bearish. The way that I'm looking at this is really two ways. When this conversion happens, there's still going to be a lot of short positions, right? The shorts don't get a free pass and get all their shorts covered. That's not how this works. So there will be massive short positions. The only thing that changes is the price of AMC stock, the amount of shares that you own, things of that nature. Does not change the short situation with AMC. Now, when I think about the fundamental reason why shorts are short in AMC, it's clear. They think ultimately the stock's going to go bankrupt, right? That's obvious. That's the reason why they have shorted for years now and have not covered on short positions. But when this conversion happens, yeah, I get it. It's dilution for the stock. The risk of bankruptcy is no longer there. According to Eric Wold, AMC could raise up to $16 billion. That means there is no more bankruptcy for a very long time with AMC. Even if they raise a fraction of that, there's no more bankruptcy. They could pay off all of their debt. Some very positive fundamental things could come from that. And that would be why shorts would cover on short positions. If I knew that was happening with a stock that I was short on, all of a sudden they were paying off their debt. All of a sudden there was no bankruptcy concern. And eventually their profitability would be at record levels. Once they're, once the box office gets back to those pre-pandemic levels, AMC is obviously going to be a leaner business. It's going to be more profitable. So if I was shorting AMC, I would say, hey, we exhausted all of the money we're going to make out of this trade. We're going to go ahead and cover. Now, with a big event such as this one, with the realization all at the same time that this short thesis is gone, I think that gives you a rapid influx of shorts covering on short positions. Now, to the extent the markets pick that up and volume heads into the stock and, things evolve from there, I think that's a different conversation, right? But I think that would be the start of a short squeeze, ultimately. So that's the one way that I like to look at it. The other way that I like to look at it is more kind of as a market whole perspective and the way that things tend to work in markets. Most of the time, not everyone can win, at least in the short term. Long term, you buy and hold stocks, you do well, okay? Everyone wins in the long term if you have a long-term portfolio. Unless you're just terrible at picking stocks and that can happen too. But generally speaking, everyone wins in the long term. In the short term, usually the crowd that is less crowded wins. And a great example of this is the start of 2023. Go back to CNBC or Bloomberg or Fox Business or any other news outlet and go watch some of the interviews that hedge funds, institutions made on those networks. They were saying you should buy oil, you should buy commodities, you should buy recovery stocks, you should buy these sectors that have not done well at all in 2023, that are severely underperforming the markets, like severely. Everyone was doing that. And then what happened? Technology took off. Tech took off. There was very few people then that liked technology. And the small percentage that did like technology, that vouched for technology, that was invested in technology, obviously outperformed. And it was the way smaller bunch of the two crowds. That's how it looks with AMC as well right now. Everyone is so negative. Hedge funds, institutions, some retail investors, all super, super negative for a long time now. They're not all going to win. They're not all going to win. And this would probably be a different story if AMC stock was trading higher than where it is today. You're trading at the lower end range, especially after this drop that you are seeing right now. I would imagine this is probably one of the last drops you're going to see, because you've already dropped a lot, you've already priced in a lot of bad news, and again, once this catalyst actually comes, short thesis is over. There's no reason to be short in AMC, and shorts likely start to cover at that point. At least this is what makes the most logical sense to me. Just if I'm wrong, if you guys have a different opinion, let me know down below in the comment section. Now, in regards to kind of where the data is currently at with AMC, you have a short score of 94, $564 million worth of short positions in AMC. Estimated short interest of free float sitting at 23.8%. Free float out on loan 38.23%. 197.38 million shares that are currently out on loan. Days to cover at 8.82. Cost to borrow 120.67%. And 100% share utilization. So you've never looked more squeezy than you are now, right? Like, the data hasn't been better than where it is now. That's it. You're heading into this catalyst at the end of this month. Very, I guess, bullish for a short squeeze, if you want to think about it in that sense. The data looks good for a potential short squeeze. And that's kind of, what I've been looking at. Cost to borrow fees as well. Cost to borrow max at 348.5%. Cost to borrow average 310%. Interactive Brokers has 100% cost to borrow fees on about 200,000 shares that are available to be lent out. I mean, what doesn't look good here? I have a hard time finding something. Now, the option activity obviously has been very negative. This is kind of a given if you watch any of these videos. It's been negative for a long time. Again, with that thesis of the majority loses. The smaller percentage usually is the ones that win. And the smaller percentage, the smaller minority, whatever you want to call it, is definitely the bulls here. Right? If everyone is bullish, the stock tends to fall. That's just, how it works. When everyone is bearish, the stock tends to rally. And that's if you wanted to just boil it down to that, everyone's bearish, be bullish. Everyone's bullish, be bearish. And you can tend to do pretty well with some stocks, right? That's with the same mentality of Warren Buffett's, be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. That is literally that, just said a different way. Warren Buffett says it a little bit more better, right? A little more ethically. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right here as far as this catalyst here in after hours specifically. You could bounce tomorrow. I'm considering the stock is so low, I don't expect a lot more downside from here either way you put it. If you bounce or not tomorrow. If you don't bounce tomorrow, then it looks like that would be a good opportunity to go long here, because you're basically confirming that this conversion is going to happen. Markets are for sure going to price that in. And again, markets have priced in a lot of negative for AMC already. This 7% move in after hours, that's the final curve of negativity being priced into AMC stock. So looks like the worst is behind us at this point. Again, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Could the stock close tomorrow down 10%? Sure. Down 15%? Sure. But I highly believe, strongly believe, maybe I should say, that is the end of the bearishness in this cycle. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.